Welcome into another edition of Coach Speak, and away we go. As always, thanks for being here. Ben puts together all the clips you see. We appreciate him producing. There's Corey, there's Ira. I am Jeff. You're here. We appreciate that, just like we do our friends at Artezia Water, arteziawater.com. More on them in a bit. I think Shane Beamer can't wait to talk about how well South Carolina is playing, because that's Shane Beamer. So away we go with Shane, who's a little bit angry with a reporter, or at least his newspaper. And he has something to say about the state of journalism, guys. So here we go.
Great.
You guys are hitting your peak right now, or how were you able to get this team to where it's like almost playing its best football at the end of the season?
Yeah, we just continue to get better, and that's what we've done last season. And I think back to, last year, and this is not a shot at you, Jordan. I like you a lot, but your paper sometimes is a doozy. And last year when we played Vanderbilt, y'all wrote one of the most ridiculous articles I've ever read in the history of journalism, where you had the Clemson beat writer write an article about how far South Carolina's program had fallen in 2023 because we weren't favored by more against Vanderbilt. That might have been one of the most embarrassing pieces of journalism I've ever read, to say this team has fallen as a program in 2023 because they're not favored by more against Vanderbilt. That in 2022 they were favored by this much against Vanderbilt, but in 2023 they're not, so all of a sudden they've fallen as a program. I mean, that's just some Bush League stuff right there by that guy. Nothing against you. So we hadn't fallen as a program. We were dealing with some injuries last season, and Vanderbilt, I got news for you, is a pretty good football team, as we saw tonight as well. So to answer your question, as far as this, we're just a team that just continues to get better. D Knight told me coming off the field, we're just getting started. And I believe that. This is a group that's very hungry.
Fellas, I can't wait for them to lose inexplicably to somebody that they're favored over by a lot, so that this can be talked about.
I mean, he's just insufferable. That's all there is to it. I guess South Carolina fans enjoy it now because they're winning, but holy moly, live in the moment, Shane. Why would you even remember something like that? Sorry, Ira, go ahead.
No, not just what was said, but the fact that it was the Clemson writer wrote it. He's reading every article about his team. I mean, it's just, again, just speaks to, I'm not saying that coaches shouldn't pay attention to what we write and what we say and what people are saying, but it's not going to be helpful, because then you just wait, and for a moment like this, you've been stewing. You have a win, you beat Vanderbilt by 21 points, and you're all fired up, and you're going to throw it back in this paper's face. Fine, man, but all that is doing is then asking them to come back and pile on you the next time you lose, like Jeff said, which probably will be pretty soon.
Well, he's got a history of losing some games in an ugly fashion that could be used against him the next time this comes up. But it's just strange to me. We've seen it so often. Part of what's been cool with Coach Speak is how illuminating it is to hear coaches who are just seething about negativity, whether it be from a fan base or a specific journalist or newspaper or the internet. I mean, these guys, more of them are paying attention to the things that are said about their program than I ever thought before we did this. I assumed that most guys who are paid $5, $7, $10 million a year to run a $1 billion corporation had a lot of other things to worry about than some slappy who thinks they should be favored more. That's crazy to me. I don't know.
When it comes to but Beamer's his own thing. Beamer's his own entity when it comes to this, because I just looked it up. They did beat Vanderbilt last year 47-6.
Yeah.
So why then wouldn't the post-game press conference after that game been the time to address that article? Instead, he waited a year and held on to it, and see, that might be why he gets up every morning. It might be above his bathroom mirror, that article. Also, there's no way that article was commenting on the failures of South Carolina in only using one data point,
right?
And that being the point spread against Vanderbilt. It could have been, Ira and Jeff, that South Carolina was 4-7 when they played Vanderbilt last year. That might have been a better indicator of how far South Carolina had fallen, not some stupid point spread. So I don't even think you got the gist of the article right.
No, I'm guessing, just guessing here, like you are, that was probably one line in an article in a bigger picture article. And it sounds like, man, the idea that they had the Clemson writer write it probably set him off as well. But yeah, man, they were 4-7 last year. Maybe that's why he wasn't talking big, because his team stunk. And this year, he feels like he can, bring out these receipts, which is cool. Go for it, man. Shoot your shot, but just don't lose next week.
Or any week.
Yeah, it's going to come back at you.
I hope they come back and point out that at the end of the year, by the way, they finished 5-7, but they did not have a single road win in the conference last year, and we're obviously sub 500 in the conference last year. If they struggle on the road again, they should do an entire article about Beamer can't win on the road, just to make sure it really.
I'll be honest. I like that he still reads newspapers.
I was going to say, and just to clarify, we're not taking the media side in this or saying that the coaches can't clap back at reporters. It's fine. It just usually sets you up for the clap back again. Like
it's also odd a year later, Ira. Yeah. A year later, it's odd. It's just odd. But let's say this: if that article was just simply about the point spread, and that was the only data it used, he has every right. What a stupid article that must have been. A stupid column.
My guess is that is not the only data point, as you said. I also don't think he read it in a newspaper. I think he read it online.
Maybe. Hey, it's still a newspaper writer.
I don't think he was still taking his coffee and reading the paper.
Shane might be a newspaper. Cool, Shane might be a newspaper reader.
Ben, what do we got?
All right, I'd like to pose a question to you guys. Who is more unlikable, Shane Beamer or Eli Drinkwitz at Missouri? And I'm not going to present this video with any context until after the fact, because I think it makes it more funnier. So I'll pop in after this clip goes off and give you a little more context. But he kind of has a Ryan Day, Lou Holtz moment here.
It'll be real disappointing to Bob Stoops, but OU doesn't always whip Missouri's ass anymore. So with that, I'll open up for questions. Felt pretty good. I thought Coach Stoops did a nice job stirring it up this summer, and I thought their coaches did some stuff this summer that felt like they stirred it up a little bit with some tweets and different things. So our guys were ready.
All right. Context,
Eli.
All right, so over the summer, Bob Stoops did an ESPN interview, and they were asking him about Oklahoma moving to the SEC. And he said, we beat the hell out of Missouri. All of a sudden, now we're supposed to be afraid of them. A&M, we had beat them 77-0 in the middle of the third quarter in 2003. That was a long time ago. But still, have they changed that much? Have we changed that much? I don't know. I don't think so.
I mean,
an 03 reference, boys.
I mean,
come on.
Yes, I wouldn't throw Stoops quite into the Lou Holtz category yet. He's not that old, and he hadn't been out of the game that long. But yeah, Eli getting that. I get it though. Whatever it takes to motivate your team, and that is a dumbass thing for Bob Stoops to say, as if he's rolling into College Station. And it's 21 years.
It's 20 years.
Yeah, it's 20 years, my man. I do like that he remembered it was 77-0 in the third at one point.
I remember that too, because he still got grief for that final score, and he's like, we didn't even throw the ball the last 20 minutes of that.
He's like,
game.
that could have been 100.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just crazy. It's like if Spurrier just came out like next week, it's like, I don't know. I remember we were kicking George's ass on the regular. Did they change that much?
And that wasn't that long ago. What's the difference?
By the way, that is something he might say. It could come up, and he might throw that out there.
If Kirby wins, is he going to be like, take that, Steve Spurrier?
Yeah.
I mean, it is weird now that these former coaches are kind of in the trash talking. But I don't know. I think if you're a Missouri man, pick any snide comment you can to latch onto. And if you win that game, you beat Oklahoma. Hell yeah, man. I think he should talk. He should have been talking trash about everybody. He should have been talking about trash about Barry Switzer. Should have invoked his name.
Yeah, Bud Wilkinson.
He should have been like, Billy Sims wouldn't have been out here running the ball against this defense today, boys. Marcus Dupree.
Yeah. But I can't imagine what Brent Venables, when he saw that quote from Stoops back in the summer, was like, oh, God, no. Why would you say something? Yeah. Is it going to be any different in 2024 SEC than it was in the 2003 Big 12? Yeah, dude, it is. It's really effing hard, Bob.
Well, And he should have called him and said, by the way, Bob, we do not have a quarterback. Stop yapping.
Yeah.
We can't score offensive touchdowns. We're like Florida State. We cannot score. We got to let's everybody settle down.
I wonder what I was going to say. I wish Eli would have gone into detail about the tweets from the coaching staff, because he said he said he was upset about something else too. It wasn't just the Bob Stoops stuff.
I'm kind of not buying the tweets by the coaching staff.
Me too.
I don't think it happened.
I agree. Yeah, it's whatever it takes to motivate, I guess. I don't know why he doesn't bother me as much as Shane Beamer does.
No, he doesn't.
But maybe it's because I think he's a better coach. But he doesn't seem as petty. He didn't hold on to something that some beat writer said for 13 months. He held on to what a national championship coach said about his program.
And I also always have a soft spot in my heart because he clowned Dan Mullen when Mullen was at Florida. So
smart.
That is true. Yeah, you get bonus points for that. All right, Ben, what do we got?
All right, I'm going to give you another little backstory here before we get into our next clip from Kirby Smart. So I don't know if you guys all saw this, so that's why I wanted to put it on the screen.
It's great. It's unbelievable.
This is a Georgia player celebrating with a former high school teammate that plays for Ole Miss after Ole Miss kicked their ass.
And stormed the field.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So, probably not the best optics there.
Is that a player? Is that like a real player?
Yeah, that was a real
like a scholarship player?
Yeah, playing, celebrating with a buddy of his from high school that is at Ole Miss.
So here's Kirby Smart's thoughts on the matter.
Oh, God.
There's a video on social media of Jake Pope seemingly celebrating with some Ole Miss fans on the field after the game. Just wanted to see if you had seen that and what your reaction to it was.
Yeah, what an idiot. I mean, just stupid. I didn't see it till today, but he's embarrassed about it. He's upset about it. That's obviously a childhood friend of his. He grew up and played with there at Buford and knows him. Hadn't seen him in forever, but just not
he just
real
came
smart.
back from war.
But to be honest with you, I don't have time to waste energy on that. I mean, you know,
You made it.
Like my focus is on Tennessee. I'm not worried about that.
Oh, God.
Well, you did call him an idiot, which is fair.
Which is 100% fair, and I'm glad he said it. And by the way, Kirby, don't apologize. Stop apologizing. He apologized again. They followed up, and he apologized for calling him an idiot. No.
Oh, in that same press conference or the next day?
I think it was the next day.
Yeah.
And don't apologize, man. He was being an idiot. You can say it. People got to stop with all this apologizing.
I think the difference is don't say what an idiot. You say what an idiotic thing to do.
Well, but man,
either way, it's semantics. I'm sure he was apologizing for that, not his feelings of
I
think it was.
I agree with your point, and if it was like the professional workplace or but man, on a football team, calling somebody an idiot is not an offensive term. There's no way that kid.
Oh, I know.
And Kirby's kind of laughing as he said it.
It's not like anybody could have really been offended by the head coach being upset by that. Because what a crazy – I can't tell if Jake Pope is a walk-on. He played at Alabama and transferred. He played at Buford High School, which we all know is one of the better high schools in the South.
So clearly he's got some game to him.
Yeah, but I don't know that I can't find him much on the tackle chart, so I don't know if he plays just on special teams. But it'd be one thing if it was ETN doing it. You'd be like, okay, man, can you not do that? But you play a lot. This kid that doesn't play a lot, that his teammates that just got their asses kicked for 3 hours, see him just go. You could give a hug even because you haven't seen the guy in a while.
A hug that you haven't seen in a while.
But to jump up and down in a celebration, it's goofy. It makes me laugh, but it is horrible optics for a football player.
You know what? The only way that you would have apologized is if after you called him into your office and said, "What is this, my man? What are we doing out here?" And he said, quite literally, it was spontaneous. I hadn't seen him in 3 years. To Ira's point, he had gone off to the Gulf War. He didn't know where he was. I couldn't believe I was running into him on the field, and we just celebrated seeing each other because we love each other. All right, man, I guess I'll let that slide.
And then you're like, also, I had Ole Miss on the money line, coach. That was a big one. That was a big dub. It's a big dub. I think. Thank you for keep playing Carson Beck and hiring Mike Bobo and all that good stuff.
It is. It's also like the next phase of, back in the day when Pat Riley didn't want players on his team to have dinner with the players on the other team or whatever, and fraternize with them. Now it's gotten so prevalent now in the NFL with the jersey swaps after the games and the NBA guys hang out so much. They're on each other's podcasts and everything. All those lines have kind of been blurred. But the problem is when it happens to the college level, it rubs these college coaches even more raw. I know that at FSU, there have been players that have gone on to other teams. Like, FSU had a couple guys that went to NC State. And then when they beat Florida State, the players are all getting together for pictures and stuff like that. Well, some of the coaches on the staff are like, F that. What are you doing? And so this is kind of a constant – this is something that's going on in college sports now, especially with these transfers, kids going from school to school. You're going to see more of this. And the kids at the end of the day, man, the game's over. They don't take it the way kids of the previous generations probably did. So
which I can handle, but you don't celebrate with them.
Yeah, just a hug. Just don't jump up and down. It was
what a win!
It's so funny. It's so funny, and I can't imagine his reaction because it went viral pretty quickly. I think on Saturday night because he released the statement either Saturday night or Sunday morning about explaining the whole backstory of why he did it. He hadn't seen it so long. It was spontaneous. But like the first time he sees that come across his phone.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, he's like, oh, no. So you got to know people have phones, man, especially when on the field celebrating.
If you're a coach, until you get that explanation, it's the kind of thing that you'd be like, yeah, you can take it on down the road.
Right.
Yeah, go back to Alabama.
Yeah, we're not doing
go back
all
to
this,
Buford.
Yeah,
I do like that Kirby, for the second week in a row, because he also said this about the visor. He's not wasting his energy on this.
No.
He's thinking about Tennessee. He's not wasting his energy. Other than calling him an idiot,
that's
the most amount of energy he can spend on it.
You know what, though? Those 40 seconds he spent on the visor last week might have been the problem and why they lost.
Oh, exactly right. I can promise you he's blaming Chip Towers for that loss, that he even had to answer that question.
Ben, what do we got?
Hey, we'll keep it in the SEC now. We'll go to the hardwood and check in on our guy, Coach Cal. So, unfortunately, we miss the cut sometimes, and this should have been on last week's show, but I didn't see it until after we recorded. Literally the first thing I saw when I got on Twitter, so I said, I've got to get that on for next week. And this is just a compilation. This is kind of different, but Coach Cal had some unhinged moments, so I just compiled the best 2 minutes of it and threw it together so we can enjoy it and laugh at it.
Good teams, you're not going to just go create a turnover. You can't. How about this thought? Make a three. How about that thought? You make 7 or 8 today. You get 3 or 4 more today. I want you to think of the score. And we had 19 threes. I'm glad we didn't shoot more because we'd have missed more. And then you go in the game and shoot it that way. And then demonstrated performance, you go in the game and make threes, build your confidence. Not me. I don't take guys, takes me out every time I make a mistake. No, I don't. My whole career, I've not done that. Now, you're going to cost us a game. Guess what? I'll take you out.
Smart.
But short of that, you make a turnover, you miss a shot, I'm not. Not diving on a loose ball, getting beat to some rebounds, not hustling back, not matching down, so exhausted you can't talk, you come out. And we're supposed to be a good three-point shooting team.
He's all about the three-point misses.
Golly.
So you have no questions? Now that I
just waiting for you to stop talking.
I don't ever stop. I just keep going. But he still did some good stuff. But took a, like, why would you shoot a three? Boogie, you barely made one. And it went, that was the one you made, and you kept shooting. Shoot twos. I'm not going to tell you not to shoot. Just don't shoot threes. Well, I'm trying to get myself. No, we're trying to win. You get in that gym over there and shoot threes.
Just what would you think of them going out and how, getting beat by 32 and how they're going to respond?
2 years ago, we made that trip and we got beat. We were down big at half. We came back, made a little game of it, but they just ran us into the dust. I have not watched that game. It's too late. I was in bed. But I will watch it and figure out what Mark Few did. I think he probably just was running them to death, got some easy baskets, and then they're probably in the same boat as we are, trying to figure out collectively, how do we do this together?
Oh, Cal.
Well, I do like that the reporter said I was waiting for you to be quiet or stop talking.
Yeah, stop talking. That's
fantastic. That's fantastic. I think Cal is on the precipice of an interesting time in his coaching career, which is that they start acting crazy when they've been in the game for a certain amount of time, guys. We've all seen it. We've seen analysts do it. We've seen coaches do it. You reach a certain age, where you have the I don't care anymore effect wash over you, and you've made enough money and you've succeeded enough, at some point you get some really crazy press conferences. So he could be this year perhaps omnipresent on coach speak. Like, I think my guy's going to be around.
It's a good chance, man. It's going to be weird seeing him with that Arkansas backdrop. That was the whole time I'm just sitting there like, man, they already played Arkansas this early in the year. I thought he was on the road.
Yeah.
But he, the thing where he was talking about the guy shooting the three, and he's like,
but he's always been kind of like that. Like, he's a blowhard, but sometimes it's like lovable. And sometimes it's like, golly, man, just stop. Like, he'll be, but you take me out when it's like, no, I've never done that in my career. It's like, you're just having a conversation with ghosts. Nobody's saying this stuff to you. It's just stuff you've heard or think you've heard. He's Shane Beamer in it. He's holding on to stuff from 10 years ago or complaints from 10 years ago and unloading on the Arkansas fan base that has no idea what he's talking about. It's just, that's going to be an interesting marriage. They're going to love him if he wins, but he's such a – I'm sure Kentucky fans were done with him. Like, you can't – imagine listening to that guy talk like that every press conference for the last 20 years.
But like you said, Corey, and I think there are days where you'd like him.
No, 100%.
I think there would be days where you're like, man, that was fun.
Yeah.
Because it is different.
I think, but to your point about him being a regular on Coach Speak, if he does something silly, we know Ben is going to have him in here because
Ben will make sure he gets that done. Yeah, there's a certain bent to Ben's video hunt.
Let's see what Coach Cal had to say this week.
Yeah.
Also, Ira, did you notice all the phones on the podium? That's old school.
Yeah, man. Reporters putting phones out there.
That was like 8 phones.
I also like that he had 2 separate Coke bottles and a water.
Speaking of water, buddy, thank you very much.
Oh, there we go.
ArtesiaWater.com for the best. Go sign up. You will not regret it. Tell them you heard about it on Coach Speak. I've got new bottles coming. Is it this week we get them, Ira? I think we do. But I think we're about to.
We're still pretty well stocked over here.
I get them whenever I text them. It ain't a delivery. I say, hey, man, I need water bottles. Like, all right, I'll be out there sometime this week.
That's the Corey special. Listen, if you guys sign up for Artezia Water, they're probably not going to run it that way.
Tell them you want the Corey special.
Corey gets the truck just makes a stop whenever Corey calls the truck. But everybody else, we have a day. Like Jeff and I, we have a day.
And they tell you, and they give you a heads up, and they can move the day if you need them to because they're very, very hospitable that way. But yes, man. I
wonder if Trevor and the folks at Artesia Water decided to sponsor get an NIL deal with a coach like Dave Aranda, and Dave could put an Artesia Water jug up on the dais with him.
Sit next to a giant jug at the dais. That would be fantastic.
Instead of a little water bottle.
And as somebody's asking a question, he just turns around and fills up his cup.
Or he takes the giant bottle and tries to drink it.
That'd make Coach speak instantly.
You can get Artesia Water as well if you live in this part of the country, basically the panhandle of Florida, over into Jefferson County, kind of east of Tallahassee, up into South Georgia and South Alabama as well. Go to artesiawater.com, ARTEZIA water.com. Mention Coach Speak either on the little screen you fill in on the website or call. There's phone numbers on there as well. When you call, tell them you want Artesia Water delivered to your house or your office or your tent or wherever else you want it. And they'll start the service for you. First month will be free. And we can't speak highly enough. Best water you could ever have, right? The greatest water in the universe. Known to mankind.
There it is. Well done, I can't say anything. I can't add to that. I mean, it's just the best water.
Well said, Ira. Well said.
Ben, what do we got?
Hey, did want to bring your attention to this real quick. A Coach Speak legend is actually on the Arkansas staff, and I don't know how we missed this. It makes sense, obviously. But Kenny Payne.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah,
I didn't know that. Cal brought him back. So, shout out to him. By the way, about a minute and a half of that Cal snippet that we just played was his opening statement. So,
of course, that's what he said. We're waiting for you to stop talking.
Just some insight into his craziness. We're going to do a little spinoff here. We might do. We'll call this AD Speak. Utah and BYU in the Holy War. I don't know what happened. I went to bed actually. I thought Utah had it won, but apparently there was some controversy down the stretch of that game. So much so that their athletic director, Mark Harland, took the podium first
which
after
is
the loss to
crazy.
BYU.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And he should have been suspended and fined.
He was
fined, but he
Yeah.
wasn't suspended. He should have been
this
suspended.
is crazy. Yeah.
So we've got him as well as Kyle Whittingham. And their thoughts on the loss of BYU?
I've been an athletic director for 12 years. This game was absolutely stolen from us.
Nice.
We were excited about being in the Big 12, but tonight I am not. We won this game. Someone else stole it from us.
Wow.
Very disappointed. I will talk to the commissioner. This was not fair to our team. I'm disgusted by the professionalism of the officiating crew tonight. Thank you.
No questions.
The defense obviously showed up really
Sweet
well today.
jacket,
I mean,
though.
Yeah, I couldn't get that last stop, and we needed it, unfortunately. That's kind of been the story for several games. We play lights out and just can't get that one last stop. Thank you.
He kicked the.
He almost kicked the chair, or he almost fell. Yeah.
It looks like he kicked the chair. Yeah, I think he may have kicked the chair.
Thank you.
Let's see.
Oh, he hit
yeah,
it.
he
He
knocked
hit
it
it with
down.
he punched it.
He slapped it. Hey, by the way, Kyle Whittingham's a guy that, despite his age, I'm not messing with.
Oh, he's a man's man.
That's the dude right there.
Calm it down, guys. Calm it down.
I'm just
he's-
saying that dude right there gets his hands on you. You're in trouble, Corey.
He's got
He-
old man strength.
He
Yeah,
does,
he
and he could be a good-looking dude. Could be an actor, I think. Could be like
Yeah.
in a could be the old. He could be like a Liam Neeson character.
Yeah, he's a tough dude. I wouldn't get into a back and forth with that dude. But
He could have been like a 70s private detective like Rockford.
there it
Rockford
is.
Files, something
Yeah,
There
like
you
that.
go.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
hoping you'd go back to the 70s. I was trying to keep it a little more relevant for the kids with Liam
Nope.
Neeson.
With the young
Just-
Liam Neeson.
Well, yeah, but he's still in movies today.
Yeah.
He's still a badass in movies today.
Just because James Gardner's dead doesn't mean we can't reference
I
the
guess.
great Rockford Files, man.
James
So-
Gardner would kick Liam Neeson's ass.
You're crazy.
Yeah, he
You're
would,
crazy.
but he wouldn't kick Kyle Whittingham's ass, though. He
No.
would-
It'll be a good fight. It'll be a good fight now. Yeah. So what's funny though is I guess there were some holding calls that were controversial.
Yes,
Holding,
there was a
non-holding.
holding call on 4th and 18.
Yes.
And the kid gets sacked in 2 seconds to end the game. But the cornerback, that ESPN did a terrible job of showing it.
That's
but there's,
correct.
There's footage everywhere else of him yanking the receiver by his shoulder pad and pulling him. It was the right call. It's a call that could be made a lot, but it was the right call in that moment. They didn't just make it up. He grabbed the kid's shoulder pad and yanked him down, but they never showed it on the big screen. They certainly never showed it on the ESPN replay, not a good angle of it anyway. And, that's why they were mad.
So I once had a boss who I got into a lot of disagreements about, but years later, I kind of looked back and admired his policy. And he said, Jeff, this has happened one too many times where we were arguing with each other. He said, I would suggest to you that whenever you're angry about one of our policies or something that I've had to say to you, that you wait 24 hours before you come in here to talk to me. Because I think with the opportunity to digest and contemplate and think through it, you might say things a little bit differently. Now, I was in my 20s, Ira. I was a bit of a hothead, and it made me mad when he told me that. And years later, I realized he's 100% correct.
Right.
And that athletic director needed to wait a day. Man, come on, buddy. You can't roll in there. Like, they hadn't even set up for that thing yet. He's like, come on, let's go.
There's reporters still walking in, and he's like, all right, I'm going to sit down and start talking.
He should have known that if he felt that angry about it in the moment, it was not the time to talk, given that he's an athletic director.
He dropped out. I was excited. We were excited to join the Big 12. Not anymore.
Yeah.
F all y'all.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here anymore.
It's also, I think he was fined $40,000.
Yeah.
And that seems about $200,000 light.
Yeah.
Like when you think about, like in the SEC, they get fined for throwing stuff on the field or rushing the field. Well, this guy just called into question the whole
integrity of the league,
the integrity of the conference in their first year in the league.
And he claimed the officials, were in on it, basically.
Yeah,
by
it
saying,
stole the game. Yeah, and he said the Big 12 apparently wanted that to happen because they're so in love with BYU.
Well,
I guess you could say they want BYU to be undefeated.
Right.
I get why he thinks that, but man, that's worse than storming a field. Like, that's crazy. You can't
do it.
You can't do it, especially in hindsight. He was wrong, at least about that call. There might have been other calls he thinks should have been made, but that call was the right call.
Even Whittingham was on his press conference, I think Monday or Tuesday, whenever he came back that week. They asked him if, now you've had a chance to see it, do you have any different opinions? He's like, nope. You guys have eyes, you can see it too. So they stand by it. They think it was
because they
call.
can't afford. This is
right.
We know what kind of problem this is. We see this all the time. Once you're all in on something, then you've proven to be wrong. So many people don't have the ability to say, "Well, new information's come to light. Sorry about that. I was wrong."
And it's hard when your AD just did that. It's hard to be like, "Yeah, our bad, guys."
Yeah, our bad. That was a really good call. It was not, in fact, stolen from us, and we do love the Big 12.
I don't know why our athletic director said that. What a dumbass. Whittingham could get away with it though. He's the best coach they've had.
Oh, and if you got a problem, he'll kick your ass.
Yeah.
You got a problem? We'll talk about it outside.
Yeah.
All right, Ben, what do we got?
All right, next up, we've got a little Coach Speak crossover here. So Nebraska brought in Coach Speak legend Dana Holgorsen, I think, to be the OC or the co-OC.
Right.
But that's caused a little structure issue because our guy Marcus Satterfield, you remember him, he doesn't know what yards per play average he wants.
Right, that's right.
He's now in a weird spot because he's the tight ends coach, making over $1 million. So weird power structure at Nebraska. Matt Rhule's going to explain it all for us here.
Where does this leave Sat, and how do you structure the offensive coaching staff with a change like this in 3 games to go?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just worried about right now. Marcus is about as good a man as I know.
Oh boy!
And,
boy!
He's a great.
Just said, hey, you know what? Fire me. Give me my money. I'm gonna go home. But he didn't.
He's the salt of the earth.
And
guy
in
here.
a world where, trust me, I get it. It's a results business, but you're still trying to teach some life lessons to our guys.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be in a foxhole or
He
Satterfield.
humbled himself and said, "What do I need to do?" And it's like the first day Dana said to me, he watched practice. He's like, "Man, you got really good coaches. I'm watching them out there. I'm watching EJ, I'm watching Donnie, I'm watching Sat, I'm watching Glenn, I'm watching Garrett. You got
these guys,
great coaches here. We just have to find the things that our guys do well. Let's just do those things.
We just got to find someplace to hide them.
And so, so Sat's out there coaching the tight ends.
Kicking
Garrett's
ass.
coaching the wideouts. Donnie's coaching the O-line. Glenn's coaching the quarterbacks. EJ's coaching the running backs. And anything that Dana needs, they're helping him. You can't come in and change the offense. You can't come in and install the air raid. You can't come in and, we're in week 11, as you said, but you can come in and say, hey, what are the things that we do well? Who are the guys that make plays, and let's figure out how to do it with those guys. So I think that's the big picture that I think he's doing right now.
That's awesome.
That's so uncomfortable.
Do you guys remember this ever happening where a guy gets hired?
Never, I never have.
Because was Holgorsen there the whole year?
No,
he was brought in as an analyst
like a week ago.
Yeah,
and now he's running the offense,
calling plays.
Yeah,
dude,
that's odd.
Corey, he was announced as an analyst edition like a week and a half ago.
Right.
And now he's moved him to the OC. and we're to believe that he was like, Coach, you got great coaches here. Why am I here?
You don't need me. You don't need me. It's the whole thing is it's probably a little dicey in that off. And look, what is he going to do? They're not good offensively, but it's like, man, I've just never heard of a guy being hired in November and then running the offense a week later. And then the OC you just fired still hanging on to coach tight ends.
Yeah, the whole press conference literally is just questions. People are like, what now?
Yeah.
What exactly? How's this going to work? And then my favorite, though, is when you go straight to he's as good a human being as
that's my favorite part.
That's
a
death knell. It's like a players only meeting for a season. It's going off the rails.
It's
Satterfield when he heard that.
It's akin to no offense.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and here it comes, buddy.
All due respect.
All due respect. No offense.
You are a horrible offensive coordinator.
Yeah, no. I get your point. You know what's coming here any second. Yeah, no, it's good. All right, Ben, fire it up.
All right, we got 2 more, guys. We're going to go up north for these last 2. How about some Temple football, guys? I know you guys are ready for this one. This is Coach Stan Drayton after a whooping against Tulane.
All right.
And he's got some follow-up comments that we'll get to as well after the video.
They say
it was 52 to
6 scrimmage on both sides.
What is this?
Was that a mismatch?
That was absolutely the case today. Yeah. It was. I mean, they were physically stronger than us. They played better than us. You know, it's one thing when you're, you know, playing against a team that is, you know, bigger than you, stronger than you, but they played better. They executed better than we did as well. So, yeah, that was the case. We definitely lost the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Wasn't even close.
Is he on an
Did you
iMac?
see that level of the sort of, you know, again, mismatch coming in?
I knew this was a very good football team. I mean, they've invested in some players. So, yeah, you can
They invested wisely.
They're physically very, very strong, functionally very, very strong. We had a hard time tackling them. We had our guys around the football at times. And, you know, we got to make plays. You know, I'm not going to sit here and sound like I'm making excuses here, but no, we were outmatched in a lot of spots, and we just got to find a way to play better to equalize that. So
I like that dude.
Yeah, he's solid.
I don't know why that was on Coach Speak.
He's
oh,
gonna
okay.
share, Ben's
All
going
right.
to share a little bit more for you.
So he follows up on Monday because he made the investing in the players comment.
Oh, okay, I got you.
He says, I had a chance to talk to their head football coach, John Summerall, and talk to them about how they're investing in their players and the result that they're getting because of it. Tulane has made the commitment to invest in bringing in good players into the program, and it's definitely showing on the football field. There's no question about it.
I just love the whole scene. First of all, you've got him, you know, Tulane may be investing in players. They're not investing in a visitor's press conference area.
No.
He's like in the corner by the training station or something.
He's down on the field. Yeah, I was just there last summer and ran that field. He's by the end zone is where he is. There's a gate there.
But then he's got this reporter. I guess Temple's got reporters that come from Philly down to cover them on the road.
Is he checking his email?
I mean, it looked like he was on the
No,
iMac.
it's a Zoom. They have a Zoom. They have a Zoom thing too. So there's a reporter there, but there's Zoom questions also.
So they have that much interest in Temple football that there's people on a Zoom call and other reporters?
The Zoom call I get. The Zoom call I get. I have a hard time believing this guy came from Philly, but I just love the idea that you're Stan Drayton. You're coaching football at Temple. You've got this Philly sports writer grilling you. The thing goes on for 4 or 5 minutes. So he just keeps asking this question: what's wrong with your offensive line? Why couldn't they block them? And what's wrong? And he's like, look, man, they're buying players. What are we talking about here?
They've got NFL defensive linemen, and we can't block. What do you want me to tell you?
It's just awesome. And he just every response. We can't play the whole 5-minute clip, but every response, he's just got this look on his face like, what are we talking about? So then at their press conference on Monday, they followed up by asking, what did you mean by investing in players?
Well, they know exactly what he means. Good Lord.
That they're paying more for players than
Yes,
Temple
they've
is.
spent more money on their players than we have. Yes. Yeah.
Why is Temple playing football anyway?
Come on.
Do we know?
Ira. Come on. I can tell you a team they have a better record than this year.
Come on now.
Just throwing that out
Come
there.
on.
That'd be a close game. It'd be a 4-quarter game.
It would at a higher rate too, buddy.
It would not be a close game.
All right, Ben. What do we got?
All right, last up, guys, our guy, Fran Brown. He's become a mainstay here on Coach Speak, probably one of my favorite coaches. Unfortunately, the Orange lost last week to Boston College, and Fran has a weird post-game ritual when he loses. I'll let him explain.
Oh, boy.
I got like a ritual, like when we lose, I ain't even getting a shower till early this morning. I just be mad, I just brush my teeth. But it's like I don't deserve soap, I don't deserve to do all that. I'm just focused on like trying to get back and trying to make sure that our players mentally understand and know that I let them down, that they didn't do it. You know, I just wake up all night, especially when you lose. You like wake up like, dang, it really happened. You know, it really happened that way. So it's just different
Happens
pieces.
A lot in Syracuse, guys.
And then I just move on. There's a process that I follow every week. Win, lose, or draw. Only thing is like my wife, I can't sleep in the bed if we lose because I ain't going to get in the shower for that day. I'm just mad. And I just sit there. I just brush my teeth. That's what I have to do so y'all won't say my breath stink. But I'm just kind of locked in at certain things, certain ways. I think you gotta earn the right to do certain things. So, you know, winners get washed.
Winners get washed.
I'm a loser. I just kind of waited a little bit.
Lie in your filth of a loss.
I mean, I feel like you got to take that to the whole program, right? Like the showers don't even work. You turn the water off when you lose a game.
I feel like this is devolving. I think he's in trouble, guys. I don't
It's
think
possible.
this is going to work out.
It's possible. It's possible. But
we liked him just last week when he was defending his Syracuse band.
Yeah, we still kind of like him, but I don't think this is going well. I think we're starting to see some unraveling, fellas.
You know, it's like back when the spring games, a lot of times high school football teams will do this, but even I think some colleges have done it where the winning team in the spring game gets steaks and the losing team gets hot dogs.
Right.
Things like that. Yeah, man, when they lose, Fran's not cutting on the showers anymore. That's it. And no soap, no showers.
Well, that's the thing.
And don't go back to your dorm and take a shower. That's cheating.
Yeah, exactly right. But
you sit in that filth.
But everybody gets to brush their teeth immediately after the game.
Yeah.
For as long as you want and as many times as you want.
It's
I like the thought that I don't want y'all to think my breath stinks, but you can think my whole body stinks.
Yeah.
And I have horrible BO, but I'm going to have fresh breath now.
Yeah.
I'm going to have fresh breath. That's what's important.
You just ask yourself if this is a normal press conference.
It's
Ask
not.
yourself,
It's not.
Guys, I think we see where this is devolving.
I definitely can see the Syracuse AD like having a reflective moment after that press conference. Like,
see what I'm saying?
It's one thing for him to live that, which is weird anyway, but then to talk about it publicly.
Look at it, hey Corey. Look at it from 10,000 feet. Think about the series of press conferences we've seen him have this year.
Yeah.
Think about where that's headed in year 2, 3, and 4.
You know, that's the great point, though, Corey, is the speaking it, and also the fact that now you're a head coach. Because the assistant coaches can be quirky and weird, like Ed Orgeron or somebody like Ed Orgeron. It was like cute that he was like this. But when he becomes the face of your program and he's cheating on his wife and he's got all this, it's just like it's a little bit different.
He's out there grab-assing at the gas station.
Fran was an awesome receivers coach, I guess, and recruiter. Like Kirby loved him, but when you're the face of the program, you got to act a little like it was cute when you're the receivers coach. And Kirby's telling receivers, "Man, Fran cares so much, he won't shower."
Yeah, he's a quirky dude. He cares.
Now you're the face of the program, a little bit different, but
you're kind of one of the faces of the university.
Yeah,
there's a lot of proud alums that probably don't want their coach talking about how he doesn't shower after games.
It's just he's also starting to mumble more.
Yeah,
I think we've got a devolving thing going on here. I don't like where it's headed.
I'll tell you this.
You know who does you know who does support him though? That freaking band.
The band loves him. The band loves him.
Yeah.
The band has never had a coach that they're a bigger fan.
By the way, that photo that was sent out, that was the best.
I was going to say, Ben, you know, when Ben went back in post-production, people that were watching it, they may have wondered if we'd seen the photo.
It's
obviously we had not. It's unbelievable. He's in the middle of the band, that kicker.
Dude is getting ready to destroy somebody.
He's going to kick a tuba player in the ass.
He's going to be like Caitlin Clark's tee shot yesterday.
Yeah, that was crazy.
This is going to be a bad deal.
I just I think a Syracuse fan would be like, man, it really is cool that he cares. But like he wakes up in the middle of the night. Like go with that. Like you wake up in the middle of the night all the time, like after a loss. But don't be like I'm in another bed because I didn't shower. My wife won't sleep next to me. Which makes sense. That was probably the most logical, rational thing he talked about. Was that his wife wouldn't be in the bed with him.
Does he get away from telling us that he doesn't, wear shoes for a week after that? I mean, this is going to get weird.
Does he get the shower in the morning though, or is like a full 24 hours? I'd like some follow-ups.
That would never work with me, guys. I'm a showering fool.
Oh man,
there's zero chance that you're keeping me from a shower. I don't care what I do. I'm showering. I shower before I go first thing in the morning. And I shower when I come home. There's a shower going on all the time in the Cameron household.
You apparently don't care as much as Fran does.
That's true. Yeah.
That's why you're here.
Showers are an indicator of.
Well, your body does. You think your body deserves to be washed. He doesn't.
Winners get washed, Jeff.
Yeah, he's got loser filth all over him.
Coffee is for closers. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Good job, Ben. Thanks to our friends at Artezia Water. Go check them out at arteziawater.com. As Ira told you earlier.
Who's our coach of the week, though, guys?
Best water known. I'm going to get to it. Best water known to mankind. Waterman. So our coach of the week, fellas, I don't know.
I'm trying to think.
Kirby?
Yeah, I like Kirby's reaction, and he's never going to win it again. He's never even going to be in the running.
But then he apologized for it.
It doesn't matter. You know what he really thought. What an idiot is a really funny. Have you seen the video yet? Have you seen the video? What do you think of it? What an idiot. That's a really funny response to that.
It's a good response.
Yeah.
I might give it to Whittingham out of fear.
Oh, yeah. I don't want Whittingham knocking him
I might give it to the AD. I thought he was level-headed, reasonable.
We're not going to give it to Cal?
No. Well, ever. No, probably not.
Certainly
No,
not gonna give
my
it to
vote is
Shane.
Kirby. My vote is Kirby.
All right, we'll go with Kirby. I thought that was funny. I
I'm
just
with
wish he
Kirby.
hadn't apologized.
Yeah. Don't apologize. Stop apologizing, Kirby. You weren't wrong there. You're wrong for shoving the player, but you weren't wrong for calling that guy. For Corey and Ira, I'm Jeff and Ben. Great job as always. Be well until next time. Enjoy the football, everybody.